So Rugby Canada has a very comprehensive high performance plan. It involves us looking after our athletes so that they can be the best that they can be. We look after them in the way of technical and tactical support through world-class coaching, as well as strength and conditioning, sports psychology, nutrition, medical support and off-field support to help them in their careers after rugby.
Yeah, the City of Langford has partnered with Rugby Canada to provide facilities here for Canada's rugby team at City Centre Park in Langford. We're excited about having them here in Langford.
Having the team centralized at the Centre of Excellence is of numerous benefit for the program. We were able to tap into the Canadian Sports Centre Pacific here in Langford, and having the ability to watch the players train day in, day out, watching them work on their weaknesses as well as improve their strengths, gives us the ability to plan long term, and also from tournament to tournament really targeting on key areas. Not just the athletes need to improve, but the team needs to improve.
I chose to centralize at the Centre of Excellence because I want to be the best in the world, and we have the facilities and coaching staff to do that.
The Canadian Sport Institute has given us the opportunity to train at a world-class facility with the best coaching and sports science in the country. It's an exciting time for Rugby Sevens in Canada. With the Olympics coming up in 2016, Canada has a good shot at winning a gold medal.
So just recently we were traveling to Houston and Vegas, and coming up we get to go to 2 cities in China, and then we have London and Amsterdam coming up, and concluding this year we'll be in Moscow, Russia for World Cup. We have a really close-knit group of girls, and we're very competitive with each other, which drives us and pushes us to become better, and that'll help us out when we're in Moscow, being able to feel like we're at home and keep each other together and pushing each other.
Every time our players step onto the field, we want to ensure that they're at their peak abilities and able to perform at their very best to represent Canada in the way they want to and the way we want them to.
So what we're trying to build here at the Centre of Excellence is actually a culture of excellence, whereby our players reach their potential by training and living in a high performance environment.
Check, 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 check. And good morning, Doug Cross with you here as we're getting ready to have the bowl final here between Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan, and this is in the U18 men's division. And as we're about to get underway, we'll try and throw through some of these lineups as high floating offering will land in play and out of bounds, and so not a bad kickoff for Nova Scotia. In the front row for Nova Scotia, Cody Reed, and then it's Kai Duchanez, Jack McWilliam. Second row, Alec Ellsworth and Liam Fox. Cameron McGinn and Kyle Kelly in the back row, and I'm not sure the other back row players because they don't have a six listed. Tyler McDonald, Tim Hart in the halfback combinations, Nate Baker and Alex Malley, and then on the wings, Jacob Reed and Sam Jennings. Aiden Conti is the fullback. For the Saskatchewan squad, Quentin Ryan, Lyndon Lugner, and Cody Smith all make up the front row. Liam Graham and James Hill in the second row. Paul Dietrich and Danny Bryce and Kelly Strobel for the back row. William Jacqueline Watt is the scrum half. Gareth Pitter, the fly half. In the centers, Brandon Baker, Spencer Nankaro, Braden Goldstein, and Mark Herrick on the wings, and Cole Pedrick is the fullback, and we'll give you the replacements as they come along. So finals day here today, and getaway day.
Scotia, number 1, Cody Reed. Number 2, Kai Duchanez. Number 3, Jack McWilliam.
Service out
Number 4, Alex Ellsworth.
to the inside center, Baker. Now the inside center spot for both teams is going to be easy. Remember, they're both last name of Baker, so Baker and Baker crimes taking place here today. Driving to the left now, Nova Scotia just a few meters out. First time we've had a chance to see the U18 boys of Nova Scotia here. And that's number 17 for the East Coasters, Isaac Zinkty, getting that ball back.
Number 17, Isaac Zink. Number 18, Colin Savannah. Number 19, Jason Cookson.
So full afternoon and morning of finals games, bringing you cup finals near the end of the day, and then all the players are going to be racing to the airport. Some of the Ontario players will be having a shower at the airport, I think. Saskatchewan now trying to clear their lines and get that ball down the field. They've gotten to just inside their own half.
Starting lineup for Saskatchewan, number 1, Quentin Ryan. Number 2, Lyndon Lehner. Number 3, Cody Smith. Number 4, Liam Graham. Number 5, James Hill. Number 6, Paul Dietrich. Number 7, Denise Bryce. Number 8, Kelly Strobel.
So the line out
9, William Jacqueline
for
Watt.
Saskatchewan, early jump by Nova Scotia, and they'll get to the back of the line, but overshot the target there.
Number 13, Spencer Nankaro. Number 14, Mark Harris. Number 15, Cole Pedrick.
Nova Scotia now on the front foot inside the Saskatchewan half.
Number 18, Christopher Dredger. Number 19, Solomon Mann.
Cutting to the left is Graham. Sorry, that's for Saskatchewan, Ellsworth.
Number 22, Gabriel
That
Falk.
ball coming back for Nova Scotia, or Saskatchewan over. Yes, they've stolen it. Saskatchewan's got that ball now. They better use it quick. Counter-rucking from Nova Scotia could negate the benefit there. Retreating just a little bit, Saskatchewan. Now, quick spin pass from the scrum half, Jacqueline Watt. Distribution through Pitter. So a bit of a cool day here. Can't complain. We've had tons of good weather. We may have used up our allotment here this week, as temperatures a little cool. Probably about 16 or 17 right now with the clouds to burn off. And I definitely know I want Brian Kelly on my charades team. That was very good. The rain, he had little jazz hands going on, doing his weather report for me. Now Saskatchewan. A big run down the wing there. And Saskatchewan will be away for the try. And Karen Lozada will consult her assistant referee on the side before finding out if that ball was touched down cleanly. So it is not a try after further review, and so it will be a restart for Nova Scotia. 22-meter dropout as the rain indeed is starting to fall now. First rain we've had here all week long, and so can't begrudge the weather that. It's been bone dry in British Columbia for most of the summer. Great take by Saskatchewan. Big gap opening up there. Now the tackle made. Saskatchewan 5 meters out now. Now that'll be a try. Unfettered, untouched. And try awarded. I can see the player. We're just trying to get a number off of the player with the white tape on his leg. See, if these kids want contracts, they got to turn around and let us see their numbers so we can talk about them. You know, that's why guys wear brightly colored boots. Now, he's helping us out by going all by himself, the very back part of the field, as we await that ever. Oh, come on, you're killing us now. Number 21 for Saskatchewan. That's Bailey Caleb who scored that try. And so we finally got the information we so desperately wanted. And Saskatchewan on the board first here in this bowl final. So try was awarded to Nova Scotia by myself accidentally. That's Alex Sitzer on the Saskatchewan team. Apologies to Alex, and commiserations to Bailey Caleb, who was for a moment a try scorer, but for the wrong team. And the conversion is across.
Nova Scotia 0.
7-0 the score. Saskatchewan. So Nova Scotia now with a scrum inside Saskatchewan half. So we get that little scoreboard updated. Later in the morning, we should have a referee feed to give you a little bit more insight. We had that yesterday. That was very nice, and going through the finals days, be handy if we can do that as well. High bouncing ball, Saskatchewan at their 22-meter line is going to have to deal with some of this pressure. Early start here on finals day is Saskatchewan going down the wing now. That's another huge run, and they're showing their intent to play some wide open rugby. Now the chip and chase. And it'll be a foot race between one Saskatchewan player and a Nova Scotia player. But the ball's been knocked on by the Nova Scotia player. And now advantage Saskatchewan as they head to the line. Ball's going static. And now blast of try given. So it's going to be one of those days where they decide to go to the far corner the whole time. Not really getting an indication who scored that. Wind starting to pick up here, blowing left to right across the field. So it's Saskatchewan's back. So not getting an indication of where that try came from for Saskatchewan. But we will add the points nonetheless. Doesn't matter if we don't know who it is, as long as it's for that team. There's the conversion kick, and that's a good effort, but the flags will stay down. 12-0 for Saskatchewan in this bowl final.
Is good. Saskatchewan 12, Nova Scotia 0.
God bless Mike Shelley of Rugby Canada, who just dropped off a cup of golden goodness from Starbucks. Gotta say, since I've been here on the West Coast, I'm turning into one of those coffee snobs I feared I'd become. Knock on by Saskatchewan. That's the prop. Smith. Cody Smith. So it'll be Nova Scotia put in here in front of our position. So if you're going to be joining us for most of the day for finals and you're watching it on the nationalfestivalrugby.com website, after each game we'll be resetting the player that's in there, so you'll have to hit refresh a few minutes before each game, and that will give you the latest live YouTube embedded player. A bit extra work, but for all the enjoyment and the ability to watch the videos right after, it's good stuff. And now a kick into a stiff wind from the fly half Hart. Rain, just a light sprinkle right now, but get the feeling it could turn into something more given a little chance. Saskatchewan will have the kick down the field here. So that goes into touch just before the halfway mark. And it'll still be Saskatchewan's throw-in. Lyndon Lugner, the hooker. Lugner having a busy week this week, called his name a lot. He's one of those hookers always looking for work around the field, almost like an extra flanker. That's a great take at the middle of the line. Tap ball. Quick up now through the line. That is, in fact, the hooker Lugner running with his own ball off of that move. Ball's gone Nova Scotia side now. Was that an errant hand offside? No, we're just going to take this straight up knock on. And, oh no, it is a penalty against Nova Scotia. They interfered with the ball as it was coming out. And so Saskatchewan taking the clear option, kicking to the corner, and they will opt for the lineout. It looks like the lineout's working well for them now. So this will be another chance for the Nova Scotians to test their defense anyway. But Saskatchewan will want to pop another try across here to really put a stamp on this game in the first half. Overthrow, and now Saskatchewan still coming away with it. A meter from the line. And the trip to Nova Scotia's end is over, as there's a kick from Cameron McGinn, the flanker, acting as the kicker there from a penalty against Saskatchewan, and so it'll be a line out Nova Scotia at their own 10-meter line from center. So if you're in the Vancouver airport today, you'll see about 1,000 rugby players pouring through the turnstiles trying to get back to their various homes. And that'll be a busy spot this afternoon, no doubt. Nova Scotia getting hit hard behind the line after that line out, but the ball stays Scotia side. Now spin pass left. Nova Scotia doing well to retain possession despite the heavy defensive efforts of Saskatchewan. Penalty now, Saskatchewan. Not sure what that one was for. And that touch finder does not find touch. Tim Hart trying to give that one a ride, and it just didn't go the right way. So that ball stopping just at the 22. Saskatchewan with a little bit of space, and now it's going to be a kick over the top. Fullback will be there. No, that was the fly half fielding that, and now bit of a mismatch as the supporting prop coming off the wing pass there. Jack McWilliam doing a good job back there for Nova Scotia. Now a break by Hart. And a big tackle on the flanker, McGinn. He was maybe hit a touch high. Rolling maul continuing. Drop ball by McWilliam. Now that ball may be going the other way. Ross, so you can grab a seat here, and so to change scores, all you do is you put the cursor in the little box there, all right? Yep. And hit enter. So let me just switch over to this side here. So now could be some trouble time here as Lozada looks like she's got some paperwork in her hands. She's discussing things with the Nova Scotia captain, and probably a little early in the game to lay down the law that heavy, and look like hooker Kai Duchanez was probably guilty of something. It's a great kick from Garrett Pitter, the fly half for Saskatchewan, but doesn't quite find touch. Immediate kick back from Nova Scotia. Pitter fields it cleanly. You can tell him from his bright yellow boots. Oh, and the loose ball in the tackle. Yeah. Nova Scotia driving up the middle of that ruck. And a big tackle put on Ellsworth, the second row for Nova Scotia. Saskatchewan stolen that ball in contact. Now, another kick over the top. That's from the scrum half. William Jacqueline Watt goes into touch, but not straight out on the full. So not a bad effort for the Saskatchewan boys. This will be a throw-in from the hooker, Kai Duchanez. Cleanly transferred to the flanker, McGinn, Cameron McGinn. Oh, nice run around the edges for Saskatchewan. Drift defense in Nova Scotia getting the job done. Pitter. Ooh, big first up tackle by Ellsworth there. That was actually Duchanez with the big tackle in there from Nova Scotia. And Nova Scotia charge down kick, chance for Saskatchewan. Nova Scotia jumps on that quickly, but I guess that was off a Saskatchewan hand before Nova Scotia got to touch it again. So it will be a 22-meter dropout. So not a bad net result. Could have been a scrum 5 as the wing over there, Bailey Caleb, tries to maybe do a quick tap or a quick kick from the far left side as they're looking at the field. You know, they've slowed things down, consider their options. Interesting restart. That'll be taken by number 23, William Howden. Offload to Alexander Sitzer. It's our try scorer. And a good link up from Lugner, the hooker. Now pick and drive right up the middle. Knock on right at the line. Disappointment for the Prairie Boys. So it'll be scrum here. Nova Scotia with the put in, and they've got their fly half parked right at the back of the in-goal area, Tim Hart. And you can bet that the Saskatchewan flankers are going to do everything they can to get to him and at least put a pressure time on him for this kick. If they can get a partial charge down, that would be good for them as well. Good release from Hart, and he's done a pretty good job to get his team out from under its own shadow of the posts. Saskatchewan will have the throw in about 18 meters out from the line. Not a bad area for a team to defend with. You don't have all that space in behind. So your fullback, everyone's really just up on the goal line and in. The golden spot on attack is probably about 30 meters and in, because now there's some space behind you, and you're going to have to deal with a number of issues, kicks over the top and things like that. Driving, pushing hard. That rolling maul going static into ground now. Was it pulled down or just collapsed? Just collapsed. It looked like the one hopper not doing a great job there. Pitter, no one can find the handle. It's a bar of soap out there. A little bit wet, but now drop ball by Saskatchewan. Nova Scotia with the advantage. The flankers pass, knocked down. That was McGinn trying to get that away. And Saskatchewan hand got up there and prevented it from getting away. So now it will be a scrum for Saskatchewan. Scrum for Nova Scotia. So by the time we bring you the Cup final game this afternoon, we'll probably have, haven't done the exact math, but about 26 or 27 games this week on Field 1. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear the stories. First of all, families coming up and saying, oh, I had a woman come up and say grandfather watched his grandson play rugby for the first time down in Australia, watching the game yesterday. And that's the nice thing about streaming, is it's got no borders. It's not just local cable, so people are able to see it all around the world. And same thing with the CRC game we covered last night. Got texts from across the country, people watching the game, and that's how technology sort of binds us together. It kind of kills us in one sense, because we're all slaves to our machines, but it's great to be able to see what's happening in other parts of the world as this scrum comes down again. And we'll reset, says Lozada. That was a great night last night, CRC Championship. All participants of the festival pretty much in attendance. Probably a couple of thousand people watching as the visiting Wolfpack beat British Columbia Bears in a pretty wide open contest. That was the Canadian Rugby Championship 2013 opener. So Nova Scotia with a bit of a break here. That's gone off the side of the boot a bit, but still not a bad net result. So we got about 22, 23 minutes gone since the opener of this game. 2 30-minute halves. And Nova Scotia certainly not out of this, and they've been playing some better rugby here in the last few minutes, reducing the mistake rate as Duchanez links up well off of that line out. But really, Nova Scotia not past the gain line, and now Saskatchewan boot, negating that attack and putting Saskatchewan under even more pressure as Baker, the inside center for Nova Scotia, goes to ground. One thing I'll say for the Saskatchewan team and the Alberta team, both really physical sides, like just throw their bodies around with no regard for themselves. quite something to watch, and they must be feeling the effects of 4 days of rugby non-stop. So another put in here for Nova Scotia. A pick and drive from the number 8, Kyle Kelly. He's done well. Gotten a few meters past the gain line. Ooh, ill-advised kick by the scrum half from Nova Scotia. It's McDonald, and he won't want to do that twice. That was kind of partially charged down and into touch. This is the final call. I think there was a hand on it. They're just trying to decide if it was maybe going to be Nova Scotia's throw-in off a Saskatchewan hand, but no, it will be Saskatchewan throw-in. You know, the kick is always a good option, but you've got to have a bit of space to get it over the top and put it somewhere useful. Now, nice spin pass from the Saskatchewan scrum half. That's William Jacqueline Watt. Stutter step by William Howden. He's still on his feet. He's got some mates in support now, but that ball is sealed in. It may become unplayable, and it could be a Nova Scotia scrum. That is indeed what happened. So small victory for the Nova Scotia forwards. As Saskatchewan took that ball in, they couldn't turn around, get their body position, get that ball back. So it became a big tug of war, and now Nova Scotia will get the benefit of the put in here. Stiff wind in Nova Scotia's face right now. First time that wind has really been a discussion point this week, as the breeze has been non-existent for most of this festival. Nova Scotia getting driven back but maintaining possession. But as a result of this wind, it's going to be Nova Scotia probably choosing what they're doing now, the land attack, because kicking into this wind will not benefit them that much. McGinn now steps out of one tackle, but then is immediately brought down. 12-0, Saskatchewan leading Nova Scotia here. Haven't had a chance to tell you our full lineup. If you go to nationalfestivalrugby.com website, click on the streaming button. It'll have a complete rundown of the schedule, but at 9:45, after this game is concluded, plate final action between the under-18 men, and that is Ontario 3 versus British Columbia 2. Then at 11 a.m., the cup final for the under-18 women, Ontario taking on BC, and that theme continues in the cup final for the under-18 men. BC 1 versus Ontario 1. The form sheet working there all week long as Nova Scotia now breaking through the line to the midway point. The offload pass scarpered up by Saskatchewan. And finally, the cup round game of the under-16 men's division. Alberta will take on British Columbia 2. Nicely fielded by Nova Scotia up that left wing there for Nova Scotia. And that ball now kick over the top from the fly half, Tim Hart. But it went out on the full. At least he got the ball out of harm's way. You know, one of the interesting things about streaming now is that so many people have devices in their homes that it's not just the pursuit of those who like to sit in an uncomfortable office chair and watch their laptop. You can, using an Apple TV device or throwing it out from your computer, there's lots of ways to watch it on the big screen in comfort of your home and get a sandwich and something to drink and watch it like every other sport. Nova Scotia with the ball now. Coming down the right side, and a nice kick from the outside center. That's Alex Malley. Saskatchewan now with the counter effort. That kick goes right to the scrum half, McDonald. And he's done a nice job finding some space where no one was for Saskatchewan, but the cover D couldn't get there in time for number 20, Ashton Milligan. So it's been a bit of an air show here for the last couple of phases. And maybe one more to come as Pitter, those bright yellow boots boots just blazing up the middle there. The hooker, Lugner, he's going to wait for some help. He's got to let go of that ball, though. He does. Nova Scotia player trying to get out of the way. The second row, number 5, Liam Fox, doing a good job there. Oh, and the backdoor offload pass, no look, and it finds its target. There's another kick. It'll bounce high in front of the 22, and then the Saskatchewan player gets a hand to it. That was Pitter. Bit of an athletic move, but doesn't get the desired result. So we'll come back for a previous knock-on, I believe. Oh, that is halftime. Not coming back for anything. They're coming back for a drink of water. So at halftime, that's Saskatchewan leading 12-0 over Nova Scotia. So we're going to take a quick break and reset, and we'll be back with more action in just a couple of minutes. Just pop in here where it says first. Click in on the box. All right, now it's highlighted, and then just type in second. And then hit enter. That changes stuff on the screen. Sweet. So back for second half action. That was a quick halftime, and I think they're just everyone trying to do a compressed schedule here on getaway day as Saskatchewan kicks off to Nova Scotia. And no one holding back on this last day despite the tired bodies. Saskatchewan just laying it on the line. Penalty now That's going to be maybe coming in through the gate from the side. Not coming through the gate, actually. So Nova Scotia has really just got to concentrate on getting first points, even if it's a penalty. They've got enough time here to fight back, I think. 12-0, and they can erase that deficit in short order. Ball spinning wide for Nova Scotia out to the left wing now. Stiff tackle still being put in, and good cover defense by Saskatchewan will be a throw-in for the men in green. Nice big tunnel here for Lugner to throw down the middle. Early jump by, Nova Scotia snagging that at the last second, but they may have jumped a little. I don't know what was wrong with that. There was an early jump by Nova Scotia, so I suppose that was ultimately the issue. And so it'll be an indirect penalty or a free kick, also is known. Pitter passing back inside. Bit of a high tackle on the second Saskatchewan player through. But look at that rolling maul now. It's like they're on roller skates whipping through there, but we'll take the penalty back behind the play a few meters. So at the 10-meter line, and Pitter quickly realizing that, and he was tackled well up, but was that within the 10-meter zone? Kind of feeling it might have been just a little bit. Nova Scotia anxious to get to that ball. Now it's going to be Saskatchewan leaving their feet at the breakdown, and Lozada is going to blow the whistle and maybe bring the Saskatchewan captain over for a discussion about repeated infringements. McGinn, the captain for Nova Scotia, pleading his case about what the opposition might be doing around the fringes. No further discussion required. Conti, the fullback, nice spiraling effort, but not a lot of distance on that. Maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 meters down the field, but it was almost dead center of the pitch, so he had to make up for that distance as well. These referees working hard in teams of 4 and rotating through. Referee one game, assistant referee another game, and then a bit of a break as a fourth official. But thank goodness they're here. So much needs to be done in terms of refereeing. So many games as McWilliam has a good job there. The big prop for Nova Scotia pounding through. And now things might be touching off a little bit between he and another Saskatchewan player, his opposite number 3, Smith. Another little consultation between Lozada and her assistant referee. Had that assistant referees list here somewhere. Oh, it's gone now. So ultimately the penalty against Saskatchewan. That's a better touch finder from Nova Scotia. That was actually the fly half doing the kicking heart. Attributed that to the fullback previously. So what a great experience for these young men to just know about what pressure is about and playing some high-level rugby, being seen by Canada selectors, and that's a knock-on in the line. And anticipation of breaking through came. Number 17 for Saskatchewan, Carson O'Sullivan, trying to get that ball around the back end there. Instead, they'll have scrum in 15. So while Nova Scotia hasn't gotten on the scoreboard, Saskatchewan is going to want to get at least another 3 points here to force the issue and make it a 3-score game. Right now, Nova Scotia in a position, 2 tries manageable, 3 scores in a little over 25 minutes. When you start doing the math of how long it takes to work your way down the field and get a scoring opportunity, sort of could be as long as 5 or 6 minutes if things are going well for you to, you're counter kicking and running down the field. You can't expect to just score a try, length of the field, and go back and do it again. It's just not going to happen, and it doesn't show that Nova Scotia has that ability against the Saskatchewan team. But here they're putting good pressure on, and they've just got to get that ball and counter ruck. And Saskatchewan, the big prop, I'm really liking this guy, Cody Smith. He's got like the cut of his jib. He does well in the front row there and well around the loose and stands up for his teammates. Nova Scotia's stolen that though, and that is Tyler McDonald. And now a bit of a lateral track in the offload to the fly half Hart. Wasn't sure that wasn't a forward pass, but that's spilled in the tackle. And so it'll be a scrum for Saskatchewan. And Hart went down in a heap a little awkwardly, and he's slow to get up. He really, the way his arms were wrapped up by the Saskatchewan tackler, he felt like a board onto the ground, and so he may have gurgled some internal organs around a little bit there, and his lungs deflated, and he's going to take a moment for recovery. Yeah, that's all he needed was a moment to reinflate his lungs, but I think maybe he's actually going out, so I hope he's all right. Trying to spot if there's been a replacement sent out for him. Ross, did you see a replacement player come out there? Oh, okay. 21? All right. It's nice to have a guy with some eagle eyes working with us here. Ross McLeod joining the team. And Bailey Caleb, he was already out on the field. Come on, man, try harder than that. I don't know who it was. 23, I like that answer. That's 20. Colin Stonier, yeah, that's a good guess. As Brian Kelly said, a lot of these coaches have got the handwriting of a doctor, just like looking like a handful of prescriptions here. So we're going to go with Stonier, and the Stonier family, if we got this wrong and it's actually something quite different, we apologize in advance. The grab from the back of the scrum goes to ground immediately. They're going to reset that. So Nova Scotia's really got to come away with something here, and I think their best bet would be to draw a penalty against Saskatchewan, really put the pressure on in the scrum, and maybe make that front row go down or something somehow, and either take the 3-pointer or quick tap ball and score that first try and build off of that. The buffet table of medals going by our position there. There's chocolate inside each one of those medals. It's a very nice touch. Now, they're actual real medals the players will get for their efforts here, as that ball kicked across the line by Nova Scotia and touched down by Saskatchewan. It's going to be a quick tap by Pitter. Pitter might do the little towing across the 22-meter line. Now Stourier there, and he does. They want to retain possession, and that's showing a lot of intent as Lugner now has done a good job getting across the field, but Nova Scotia penning the Saskatchewan boys in, and now big tackle back, and bit more of that from Nova Scotia will change the complexion of this game. That's a penalty, though, from Nova Scotia, so they're going to retreat 10 meters. Hands in the ruck there. High end over end kick into touch. Gets Nova Scotia to within a couple of meters of midway point. High throw in, goes over the back of the line out and taken by Nova Scotia. That's Stonier, I think we said it was going to be, yeah, not Stonier. If we don't like the answer, we'll make it up ourselves. That ball gone to ground. Someone's got to pick it up. It's out. Saskatchewan identifying that. Now almost a little bit of steer wrestling going on. You get a belt buckle for that kind of effort. And now Nova Scotia putting Saskatchewan to ground. Heavy work by Jacqueline Watt, the scrum half. He digs that out. Immediately taken up field by Sitzer. Now the first real visit into Nova Scotia this half. Now the pass back inside by Folk. Oh, rolling maul. Nova Scotia desperate to stop the progress. 5 meters out. Now that ball's loose. In goal. Was it knocked on? Yes, it was. So it'll be a scrum to Saskatchewan. Right dead center of the posts, and they've got to be happy about that. Now they're going to pile up their backs to the right, but with all that space, it's going to be a flanker and a lone winger to defend that huge area there, because the numbers got to match up. Smart money doing that, but I'm going to say a number 8 pickup here from Strobel, the 8, and he'll probably have a nice little gadget play with William Jacqueline Watt, because those number 8s and scrum halves like to work on that stuff all the time at training. Do that no-look backdoor pass that Sonny Bill Williams does so well, and see if they can pull one of those off. So calling it early here, I'm going to see a number 8 pickup from the back of the scrum. There's just so much space to that left of the scrum. It only makes sense. The winger, Braden Goldstein, getting ready to maybe cheat up as well. And all my good thoughts belayed with just a standard play from the scrum. Nova Scotia stealing that ball at an important time. That's the hooker. Duchenez kicking that one. And the flag did go up. And so Duchenez, not the greatest of kicks in Saskatchewan, just about gets to it. But I don't know if it was knocked on or went into touch. I feel like it might have been knocked on by the Saskatchewan player, but they'll take the line out there. A little bit of movement in the Nova Scotia line. Well taken, that is to McGinn, the flanker and captain for Nova Scotia. Kick outside the 22, takes an awkward Nova Scotia bounce. Saskatchewan can't get to it, and that's a good job by the fullback, Conti. But now Saskatchewan stealing that. Jacqueline Watt spinning that right, distributes to Pitter. Now 10 meters out. Can Saskatchewan get that third score they need to really put this game away? Not by doing bad chips like that. Stepping out of one, and now over the line. Held up, says Lozada. And so Nova Scotia lives to fight another day as they will get the scrum 5. Oh no, it's going to be Saskatchewan's put in, true, because Nova Scotia held it up. So Saskatchewan with a decent position here. there hasn't been a lot of dominance from one side over the other at scrum time, so I wouldn't anticipate that Saskatchewan is going to be pushing this scrum over the top. Thanks to Jen Smart, who's been doing a huge job at this tournament all week as the tournament organizer. She's just handing us the plans for the players for the next game. Now the number 8 take immediately wrapped up just at the line. And oh, it spilled at the line. So Saskatchewan cannot buy a try here. They've been trying desperately now several phases, and each time a different outcome. This time spilled ball at the line. Now Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan ringing the changes. Let's see how our man Ross does with his eyesight here on all this business. Looks like a big second row coming in for Nova Scotia. So Jacqueline Watt out for Saskatchewan. The scrum half has changed. And indeed, we've got a big second row replacement. We'll have to pick up that number as they come by our position here. Been calling the games from the Gerald McGavin Pavilion all week, and what a great spot to do games, and look forward to doing other events here in the future. As Nova Scotia now going to be under some pressure from inside their own line, but a great run now, and this'll do. This is from Baker. Baker brought down, wasn't held, gets back up, immediately tackled again. Ball presented back. Now, oh, bit of a miscommunication with the Nova Scotia scrum half as player. Oh, and spilled ball. I want to say that was Baker that immediately, oh no, that was big number 1, Cody Reed for Nova Scotia, who just couldn't find the handle on that partially blocked pass, so it'll be scrum, but super attack from inside his own in-goal area, and that was Nate Baker. As we noted, Brandon Baker, the inside center for Saskatchewan, Nate Baker for Nova Scotia, so Baker on Baker here. I said Jacqueline Watt went off. He did not, so he is still scrum half there. Oh, and a bit of a miscue with Pitter. Clearance kick, but not much of one. And a hand touched that from Nova Scotia, so it'll be scrum to Nova Scotia there. Not sure why play just didn't continue. Don't think there was a knock on there, but Nova Scotia will have the put in. So now a big shove from Saskatchewan here as we have 17 minutes gone in this second half. And Nova Scotia, now that is not going to help your cause. Mind you, it did get out to the wing there, Bailey Caleb, but Nova Scotia needs to hold on to that ball if they want to win this game. Kicking it from midfield's not going to get it done for the most part, as they now put some pressure and park down in Saskatchewan's end. So maybe I'm talking out of my hat now. Duchenez into the line. Now Nova Scotia really threatening here in this second half. Loose ball. Saskatchewan kicks it, but immediately in the arms of a Nova Scotia player. Want to say that was McDonald, the scrum half. Now a penalty. Big chance here for Nova Scotia. They should take the scrum, draw all those big Saskatchewan forwards in, and fancy their chances with going around the blind side. But no, they're going to take the quick tap, and I don't think they can match up physically with this Saskatchewan team in open play. That's McGinn, though. Number 7. Oh, and just at the line. Was that the try? Yes. So McGinn, the flanker, getting that for Saskatchewan, for Nova Scotia, and getting them on the board. So 12-5 your score with the conversion to come. And now this game just got a little bit more interesting.
Try scored by number 7, Cameron McGinn.
Calling him Curtis, it's Cameron McGinn. Curtis McGinn is my lawyer. I shouldn't give my try to my lawyer. He's 50 and paunchy. I don't think he could score a try these days. Drinking the last of this great coffee Mike Shelley gave me. That's where all the nutrients and vitamins are, the last couple of swallows. Conversion kick. Flags stay down, so
Conversion is no good. Saskatchewan 12, Nova Scotia 5.
in order for Saskatchewan, or rather Nova Scotia, to put Saskatchewan under pressure, they're going to have to score a converted try to tie this game up, or maybe get a penalty as the kickoff doesn't work as advertised. Pitter thought he'd be able to restart that, but maybe he had to get the all clear. Yeah, he hadn't gotten the all clear from Lozada. She had to make sure her assistant referees were ready to go and everything. And so now he will redo this. And that is a high offering into the sky. Nova Scotia dropping that ball. Duchesne getting to it, the hooker. He's got to get up and out of the way now. He's just sitting there wondering what just happened. Saskatchewan now, that's William Jacqueline Watt. He's immediately wrapped up. He has the presence of mind to squeeze ball that back. Oh, that's just lying there. Now it's got better Saskatchewan side. Howden staying on his feet. He's got some support with him. Now he's gone to ground and spit out the back like blades of grass from a lawnmower. Now Nova Scotia with a chance. Big gap. Got to think about the offload. He does. That was a nice bit of play from Malley. He goes to ground, however, and forward pass finishes off the move. I'll tell you what, I'm not convinced we're going to get much warmer than this morning. About, I feel like it's about 15 degrees right now. Hints of what are to come. What is to come weather-wise in British Columbia. They've had such great weather here all summer, but they all know fall and winter are soon to come. Ball put in by William Jacqueline Watt. He's in good position to spin that back, and not before penalty is called for offside by the opposition, number 22, Josh Garden, putting some pressure. And now Saskatchewan really getting a chance here. And they've called for a shot at goal here because they know they've got to add that third score. Now that Nova Scotia scored a try, they don't want the table set for the comeback. They're going to make this a 3-score game with less than 8 minutes to go, and that might be just enough to put a stamp on this bowl final. Well, we'll be on a tight schedule to turn over for the next game, as there'll be less than 5 minutes between games there. So if you're watching online, you'll have to refresh your browser just before the start of the next game in order to see the next game. Spin pass from the scrum half. Tyler McDonald. Had a quiet game, McDonald. Not his fault, just not a lot of possession for Nova Scotia in this game. Ball comes out Saskatchewan side, but the whistle from Lozada offside. So now that missed penalty kick looming large maybe for Saskatchewan, as Nova Scotia is going to kick that ball into touch and try and play in Saskatchewan's half for the remainder of this game and maybe score that tying try. Not that I don't want one team or the other. I have no interest in the outcome, but if we have extra time, our schedule will be thrown into the shredder, and a bunch of games had to be moved around so that some teams could play their games and immediately jump on a bus and get to an airport. So this thing better finish in regulation time. Knock on, says Lozada. So now it's knock on, and Saskatchewan with the put in. So that ball, things just getting a little messy out there. Now Nova Scotia pouring through with the pressure, kick through. They'll be gathered in and knocked on by the goal line. And this could be an important scrum coming up for Nova Scotia. Did Lozada pick up on the knock on? No, it's a full penalty now. Quick tap, and Nova Scotia knows they're running out of clock. And they're going to try and score here, but so now resetting here, they'll consider their options. And organizers echoing what I was just saying there, terrified there's going to be extra time here, but wish everyone well as McGinn stopped at the line. Nova Scotia needs to hold on to that ball carefully, pushing, driving, just at the line now. And a try for Nova Scotia, but my goodness, what a huge conversion to come, as it is a try pushed out to the very edge of this field, maybe a meter in from touch. But that makes the score 12-10, and again, we apologize. If we had the referee mic, we might be able to hear who scored, but when they're down in a pile like that, it's very hard to see what actually happened. So this kick for all the marbles as the clock moves on. Make this kick, it's tied, and there may be extra time. Miss this kick, and Saskatchewan can pretty much assure themselves spot with the bowl final medal. The flags go up, and we're tied 12-all. And the drama is on. What's going to happen in this last couple of minutes? Anyone's guess, but now Saskatchewan chasing this game for the first time. And they want to get down to the other end and put this contest to an end. And that's straight out on the full. Nova Scotia racing back to midfield, and they will take the scrum. Guaranteed Nova Scotia is going to take this ball and just kick it down Saskatchewan end and hope that Saskatchewan counters with a kick and give them a bit of a chance at a counterattack inside the western end. So, drama with Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia tied 12-all in the bowl final. They choose to run it from the back row. Kyle Kelly, drop ball, goes back. Penalty coming, advantage. That's Malley. Ball still Nova Scotia side. That counter ruck working well for Saskatchewan. They've stolen it. Saskatchewan. The wiry ringer Goldsting. Now kick over the top by the scrum half, William Jacqueline Watt. That's a high ball, bit of an awkward bounce. The fly half, Hart can't get to it. Now lots of Saskatchewan players there to drive him back, and they want to get that ball back. Nova Scotia, on the other hand, now has 80 meters to try and win this game, and they will kick it, but it's going right into the waiting arms of the Saskatchewan back three. Solomon Monde going into contact there. And boy, this will be maybe the last play. Team staying out there. And I think maybe Lozada consulting with what's going to happen with extra time here. And I got to know, I think it'll probably be the standard 2 5-minute periods. But, you know, folks, if you're waiting to see the next game up on our schedule, the plate final between Ontario 3 and BC 2, it will be delayed until the end of this match. And we'll have to do a real quick technical changeover. So lots going on here. So I don't believe that was full time. So not sure what the discussion is there with the two teams sort of huddling up, and might just get a little bit of clarification here. So we're thinking that, yeah, so it's 2 5-minute extra periods. So we had reached full time on this game, and then I think there was a coin toss over there to decide who's going to get the kickoff, you know, choice of kicking or receiving. And so things will be getting frantic on the pitch here. Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia tied 12-all in the men's bowl final. Okay, so now she's called full time. So that was a bit of an awkward way of dealing with that. But now the two teams will line up for start of the first overtime period. So it's going to be golden goal type of situation here. First points, sudden death overtime, but right now scheduled for 2 5-minute periods where teams will switch at the midway point and face the other direction, so if no scoring has taken place in that period. And I believe there may be other tie-breaking protocols, but a kicker here better step up one way or the other and fix this. As the restart, Nova Scotia getting to that ball. They've done well. Now spinning it out. The link up from Jack McWilliam, the big prop for Nova Scotia. Charge down kick. And now Saskatchewan gathering that ball inside Nova Scotia half. The pass whipped backwards, goes to ground. Loose ball picked up. Saskatchewan still with possession. And this is what they want early, is a chance after they didn't gather that kickoff. And look at the energy from the Saskatchewan back row. That's the hooker Lugner, Lyndon Lugner. Oh, and no one wants to give away a penalty at this point, because that would be the worst way to lose a bowl final in extra time. Now running up that left wing. Saskatchewan, another 5 meters. Driving. Brought to ground now. Down the line, Pitter. Delayed pass. Brought down immediately. Cover defensive Nova Scotia tight right now. Everyone revitalized. Oh, the drop kick charged down partially. Nova Scotia still under pressure. Can they counter ruck and get that ball away? Yes, Saskatchewan may come away with this ball, but not before Nova Scotia driving them back a few meters. But now they may have some numbers out wide if they can release that ball. Stepping back inside. Saskatchewan still with the ball. Getting close now. And now a penalty. So Saskatchewan, what will they do? Will they take the points? You'd almost say they have to, because in extra time, you don't want to risk having a try knocked on in goal. So yes, the T's coming out, and this will be a bit of a sitter, and Nova Scotia has to be disappointed. The game will end on a penalty, and a mistake like that. Pitter's yellow boots, and he's rushing that a bit, but that doesn't matter as the score goes across. And Saskatchewan, the bowl final winners, 15-12. So an exciting finish to this game as Pat Aldis, the chairman of Rugby Canada, will go out to present the medals here. So, folks, normally we'd like to stay with the medal presentation, but we're going to have to kill this feed. What we're going to... Just trying to think how we'll do this. I didn't anticipate extra time being an issue because the next game will be right on top of us, and we need to reset technically. So, unfortunately, what we're going to do is we're going to stop the feed and get the next feed started. You can refresh your browser and you'll see the tail end of the medal ceremony and the start of the next game. So we're going to stop the stream quickly for now, and we'll be back to live action. Just refresh your browser in a minute or two. Back with more in a moment.